So I started playing video games in the late 70s. I was born in 71, so the Atari was introduced at Christmas time, probably in 77, 78, and it was underneath the family Christmas tree, and we opened it up, and that began the video games. Got out of high school, went to work for Sony, and then I did repairs for Sony. About 12 months later, they basically said that they're not going to do any more repairs on electronics. They're gonna get new parts in. They're gonna do part swapping. So they downsized their staff, and cut a good portion of us. And so we hit the road. So I went on from there and started repairing games. I did some beta testing for the PlayStation 1 back in the day. Built computers. Concurrently with that, I also ran a bulletin board service on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. BBSs were, it's a fond memory for me, and it was a great time period. I got into cars for a bit. I was kind of my second nature was cars, and I had a brother in the car business, so we repaired, we had an auto body shop. We did repairs and upgrades on cars and stuff. And then about that time, I also still had a passion, so on the side, I bought a Mortal Kombat machine. It was actually my first game. I've been here almost 6 years. So prior to that, I worked out of my house, for probably 10 years, acquiring parts from, auctions, from Craigslist ads, from, operators that, that had spare parts. I was buying a lot of non-working stuff. That's kind of my niche. That saves me money, and it gets me into games, where I can work on them and keep my knowledge fresh on doing the repairs. Every single corner you're going to have a CVS or an AutoZone or a gas station, but in the arcade business, man, we're a dying breed. So, there's definitely a place for what I do. There's a lot, they made hundreds of thousands of Pac-Mans and Asteroids, and these games are out there and they're breaking down. And on top of that, there's a lot of new stuff I work on. I do authorized repairs for Namco. I do stuff for Raw Thrills. We have shipped things as far as shipped a pinball machine to Denmark, a Super Mario Brothers. We use a shipping company that I've dealt with for years. It's North American Van Lines, which now I think is known as Precision. They come get the games, we wrap them up and prepare them for shipping, and they pull them out. We ship probably, I'd say a couple of games a week. We shipped out 3 games yesterday, a Centipede, I believe, a Frogger, and a Make Tracks, and a Candy Crane. Majority of my sales, I sell probably a couple hundred games a year, and the majority of the games go, within the United States. I do build new cabinets. I also restore old cabinets. We start by 4x8 sheets of plywood. We reproduce the Midway Galaga style, Galaga Miss Pac-Man style cabinets. We make them brand new, and we build them into multi-machines. We also, we can restore original cabinets. For the most part, this business here, the way I look at it and the way it's run, it's almost like a junkyard for video games. Two different types of people. So what you have is some of the purists, they like an original Pac-Man, original Dig Dug, original Frogger, etc. And then there's some people, a lot of the people that don't have a infinite space, so they have limited space. They will buy a multi-cade machine and then play all the games on one machine. I think that I think those are going to be around for a while. People question if the multi-cades are just a fad. I don't produce tons and tons of them. I make about 3 to 4 a month, and I stay pretty busy with them. I'm on a waiting list. I could do more. I don't necessarily want to do more. But I like the multicade machines, although I have 12 games in my house. I don't have any multicade machines. I personally like the look of the original stuff. The younger people will do it as an impulse buy, and then the older people, like the 40s and 50-year-olds, are going to buy some of the older nostalgic games. They Pac-Man's, Dig Dug, Centipede, and stuff like that. Pinball machines are usually a little bit older than that in the demographic region, but I've my experience on working on games, I've taken our multicades and taken the CAD file and made some changes from the original Midway specs to make a better machine than what they did back then. Of course, the internals are going to be modern hardware. We got modern power supplies, and we got modern PCB, but we have the same authentic styling, and so you're getting a machine that's going to last a long time, and I think they'll be around. I think we've got these, I've been tinkering with these. This is a Raspberry Pi 2, but it's running basically Retro Pi. It's a software version that goes on here. I've been toying with this because I think at some point this will be a way to add games, unlimited games to your cabinets and stuff.